Shalom. First, I'd like to start off by giving all glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors and teachers, elders, and apostles of Great Millstone, likewise, brothers, putting on this truth. Faithfully, fearlessly, feeding the sheep and two brothers and sisters tuning in. Shalom. Today's lesson is titled, Another Slick Move by Esau. And we all know Esau is the Edomite, the so-called white man. Now, I saw this clip, as I was browsing through the headlines, and at first I thought it was one of those meme clips or just, it was fake news. But this shit is real. Okay, and this is what we've been talking about. Let's look at the word gradualism, which means a policy of gradual reform rather than sudden change or revolution. Now take a look at this video and you will see that we are on the way to the MOTB. Check it out.
New airport rules plan to get rid of boarding passes and check in and go fully digital. The way it works, passengers would download a biometric passport on their phone, drop off their luggage, and go through security after a face scan. Then you'd board the plane without showing your ticket or a passport at all. But what does that all mean for your privacy? Let's ask Kurt, the cyber guy. He joins us now. Katie on the staff here went through, she said in Dubai, they just looked right at her, boom, she goes in. So this is happening some places already. Should we be nervous? I mean, that feels kind of like a pretty big step.
Well, Clay, good morning to you. I'm wondering, who's in control of all of this data?
Great question.
Who is going to be the one that keeps the safety of all our deeply personal facial recognition data to our credentials? It is what people are calling the biggest shakeup in the airline industry in at least 50 years. Airlines and airports doing away over the next 3 years with the check-in process, as well as scanning a boarding pass. That'll all go away. A biometric digital travel credential will be created, or you could use your smartphone. It's going to show your face to a scanner when you enter the airport, and boom, you're in, just like Clay was saying. And this is, this digital travel credential will carry everything. It'll have your passport on it. It'll have your driver's license on it. It'll have your ticket on it. And it'll also understand your flight information to know if you're in the right place at the right time. Well, this is expected to radically shorten the amount of time you need at the airport. But again, a lot of questions about who's going to be in control of this data. We already know that all they're telling us, Clay, is that as far as what you and I scan in, that when we go to the airport and we scan our faces, that within 15 seconds, our data is going to be wiped from that reader. But what about on the other end? Who's controlling all of that? There are a lot of unanswered questions here.
Kurt, I also expect, because every single day it seems like I open up a news app and data has leaked. You're saying that that would be scrubbed in 15 seconds. I think a lot of people out there watching are asking the question, really? Because it feels inevitable that all of this highly sensitive data would at some point get scrubbed, get taken, get scanned, and end up in the wrong hands. Am I crazy for this to worry about it? I don't think so.
Well, the world has been really bad at tracking all of this stuff, Clay. I think you're right. And the fact is, I don't know who's been determined to be in control of this data. And if it's a universal thing from the UN, and I don't know if many people know this, but, the UN dictates a lot of what happens when we fly. And they're the ones that are behind why we have the universal language or the global language at airports is English. So they also determine these sorts of things. So be actually very curious to see what Rachel's husband, Secretary Sean, thinks about this when it hits his desk, because it inevitably will.
No doubt. We got some connections here in the studio. Kurt, you do fantastic work. You can get his Cyber Guy report newsletter along with his free scam survival guide at cyberguy.com. Thanks a ton, Kurt.
Good to see you.
Now, as you saw in that video, one of the things that really stood out to me in that video was towards the end when that cyber expert came on and said that a lot of the things that are coming out concerning, these type of changes, are actually orchestrated by the United Nations, okay? In other words, the elites, okay, telling them when it's time to implement these things. So now what they're getting to right now over the next couple of years or the next few years is you no longer will be, using a passport or the real ID right now, which is the current, form of identification that they are asking people to supply at these airports. They're now doing digital ID, facial scan, and all of this is an effort, to get the line moving much faster, because we know we're in a society in Great Babylon, America, of people that have no patience. Okay, everything has to be moving fast, and this is what we've been talking about. But a lot of people, in particular the scoffers, they like to smirk and mock and say, what you guys are just a bunch of doomsday sayers. You just like to just talk about things that's just going to go bad. Well, this is going to lead to something that's really going to change the way people live. Let's go to the book of Matthew 16 and start verse 1, because there's Yahweh, he was talking to these Pharisees and Sadducees, and as usual, jakes them. They think they're so slick and so smart, because they don't want to hear the truth. Okay, nobody wants to hear the right thing. They want to hear all the sweet things. It reads, the Pharisees also with the Sadducees came and tempting desired him that he would shew them a sign from heaven, which is always what Jason want to see. Prove it to me. Show me. Now Esau, on the other hand, he can say anything. He can fart and say, you know what? That fart is going to change your life. And Jake will believe it. But when the righteous come out and say what is going to take place, Jakes don't believe it. They need proof. He answered and said unto them, whether this evening, ye say, it will be fair weather, for the sky is red. And in the morning it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. O ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky, but can ye not discern the signs of the times? We are seeing the signs of the times right now. Okay, we can go into the book of Psalms 10 and 8. Take a look at how Esau operates, man. When you go back to the C-19 back in 2020, what do? They talk about this, pandemic that's going to devour people. They talk about all the deaths, okay, and they coerce people to roll up their sleeves, okay, and give up the rights to say no to having a foreign object put into their body, or a foreign juice or liquid put into their body. Likewise, right now, they're taking away from you in how you present yourself at these checkpoints, okay, and all of this is falling in line under the Trump administration. It reads, his ways are always grievous, thy judgment are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. Yet said aside, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. He can never be in adversity when demonstrated by Great Babylon, America. And we know that the elites gave the order. Raise the tariffs around the world. Guess what you have? Panicking, market crashing. People suddenly went from being rich to poor. The poor went even poorer. Okay? So they demonstrating to you that they can just, they can change your life just like that. It says his mouth is full of cursing, deceit, and fraud, which most of this is always cast upon the children of Israel, or so-called Black Americans and Latino. Okay? The true biblical Hebrew Israelites. Okay? Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. He sit in the lurking place of the villages. In the secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privy set against the poor. Now, every tribe can say, what, I'm poor. Okay? But it's not really describing. It's describing, okay, the people who are really supposed to be on top, the rich. Okay? Which is the Hebrew Israelites that are sitting in low places. While really the degraded, low-level abomination, okay, that was created, such as Esau, the so-called white race, are sitting on top. And they can make decrees like this. So these are these elites sitting now, going, how can we get these people? How can we get ourselves closer to implementing that digital ID or that digital form that's going to go under the skin or in the forehead? Elon Musk talking about that head implant that's going to make you be able to do things and function and see again. Okay, they're getting you used to credit cards, which has been around for decades. But even these scanning going on, various country, and like they said in that video, they've already implemented this in certain places. So it's coming to an airport near you real soon, in which you will have that. They're going to give you a choice first, okay? And that's why they plan it out like that, okay? Because right now what they want to do is they want to make you think that you actually have a choice, okay? At the same time, they're gradually creating the chaos around the world, and particularly here in Great Babylon, America, that's going to make people poor and desperate, so that they can eventually rise up against the system or rise up against each other, because this is what people do, okay? Most of the people are not looking at Esau, the this so-called white man, as a problem on this earth, as a disease on this earth, okay? Some way, somehow, it's always going to come back to the Hebrew Israelite or the so-called black man in particular, when they having a bad time in their life or catching hell. It says, he said in the lurking places of the villages, in the secret places that he murdered the innocent. His eyes are privy set against the poor. These decrees, these laws now, they're all designed to murder the poor, which is us. Jacob's Trouble is here, and some of the brothers are bringing up videos with that. Now, Jake's like to travel, so does the rest of these tribes. Now, think about this. A lot of people are going to see this as good. You know, they're going to say, oh, we save about 20 minutes wait time and all this other stuff like that. It's much more efficient. You know, that's why that word efficiency is getting thrown around by Elon Musk. You know, and this is how these corporations tend to operate anyways, through efficiency. You know, get rid of waste. Okay, Japanese like to call it muda. Okay, and they have a process called kaizen. Okay, he lied in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lied in wait to catch the poor. He don't catch the poor, because you best people are gonna go, wow, this is great. I mean, before I came into this truth, before I actually knew really how this man operated, I would think like, yeah, man, shit, I could stand up in line for like 3 hours or 20 minutes, you know? I mean, you know, when you got the, the rapid entrance or get through the gates, you know, I think you pay like about $100 and you can get you get a special background check, and then you can just go to the front line. You thought you was a shit. Imagine this now. Boop, boop. When he drawed him in his neck, he crouched and humbled himself, that the poor may fall by strong ones. Most of the morons on this earth are going to fall by this because they don't see what's next. Simultaneously, as this man is bringing this out, he's creating the chaos, which is going to uproot all of the current system that's in place, or the current life that people are enjoying right now across the earth in these various nations. And eventually, okay, as the chaos really builds up and people are murdering each other and killing each other and society collapse, they'll come up with the true solution that they really want to do, which is exactly what the Lord Yahweh Shemashai said to be so to do, which is what? Okay, try the world, okay, with that mark. This is 2nd Ezra 9, as our verse 1 reads. He answered me then and said, measure time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the sign paths which I have told thee before, then thou shalt understand that this is the very same time wherein the highest began to visit the world, which he made, which is now. Therefore, when there should be seen earthquakes, in fact, there was an earthquake in California today. I seen the pictures and the videos. Okay, so we know they're sitting on a fault line that at some point in time, California's going to sink in the ocean, Lord willing. You know, the elect is saved out of that before that happens. But everybody else, hey, tough to be you. An uproar of the people in the world. We seen that here in the Great Babylon, America. When was the last time you saw Edomites marching with a sign? You know, except when they're mocking Jake, you know, in the 60s, and, you know, Black Lives Matter, they carrying the sign and going, we're equal and all that stuff, you know, while they're laughing under their breath. Now they ain't laughing so much right now, right? That pension, that 401k is about to disappear, so now, ooh, let's go do what the niggas do out there. You know, hold our signs up and say this is not fair. Then shall thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. So this ain't something that was just written in the Bible today, and then now we look at, oh yeah, okay, this is current. No, it was told before it actually happened, because now we've seen it happening. Okay, the brothers put up videos all the time about the Karachma, and here it is. This is. I like I said, I mean, I thought this was fake, but this is real, the real deal. This is Revelation 13, verse 16. It reads, because this is what's going to happen in the end. Okay? And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, and that no man would buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So they're going to get every nation on this earth to a point to where the collapse is so great that these people, and you notice this man, he said the UN, which we know is the wicked elites behind the scene, the real puppet masters, are going to say, guess what? Global solution. Everybody can eat and drink. Just take this chip. And we know the warning from the Lord Yahweh Shai, what is going to happen to anyone that takes that. Okay, that specific warning really is to us. Okay, but what the Mashiach said, okay, he's going to keep us from the hour of temptation, and that's the hope that we are leaning on right now. And we put our trust and our faith in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Lord willing, the lack was edified at the close of by giving all glory and honor to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Bashim Rakakadash Shalom.